Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this tutorial I'll be showing you all I created this simple but beautiful shift dress I'm putting on right now. If this is what you're interested in, please watch the video to the end and do not forget to like, share and subscribe. So without wasting much of our time, let's get started to the making of the dress. So these are the materials we're using for this tutorial. The amount of Aso Oke I have here is 2 lines, and the Ankara fabric I have here is 6 yards, but we'll be making use of just 2.5 yards for this tutorial. So I've gone ahead to fold my Ankara fabric into 2. So first thing first, rule a line at the top as your starting point. From the center of your fabric now, go ahead to mark your shoulder measurement. Mine is 7 after dividing. Then from that shoulder line, extend it by how long you want your sleeve to be. So I extended it by 15 and I came down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. So go ahead and do yours. So the next thing I want to do now is to measure the width of my neckline. So I'm coming out by 3 inches, which is like a standard measurement for the round neckline. So I came down by 9 inches for the depth because this dress is a V neckline dress. So when it comes to this neckline, you can decide to do whatever you want. Okay, you can choose to use 8 inches for the depth of the neckline. You can choose to use 9 inches like I did. You can also do 9.5, but bear in mind that the deeper you go, the more cleavage it can show. Okay, so yeah, after I was done with that, I went ahead to connect my shoulder to the 1 inch that I came down by for my shoulder slope. So you go ahead and do that. So right now we are going to determine how wide we want our sleeve to be, the opening of our sleeve. So for that, I'm coming down by 10 inches and I'm going ahead to connect it all the way to the center of my folded fabric, just like you see me do. So the next thing I'm going ahead to do now is from my shoulder line, I'm coming down to my bust point. And coincidentally, the bust point I'm using for this is 10 inches, which is the same length. This is that which is the same line we are using for our sleeve. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to come down to my waist measurement, my waistline, after which I came down to my hip line, which is 24 inches, and then to the full length of the dress. So for the full length of this dress, I did 35 inches. You can go ahead to do whichever length you want. You can manipulate yours to be a long dress, and you can make yours to be short, medium, whichever way you want it. So I'm going ahead to connect all my lines together like this. So after I was done with that, the next thing I did now is to start taking our measurements. So on my bust line, I'm coming out by my bust measurement. Divide your bust measurement into 4 and mark whatever you have. So I'm doing the same on the waistline. I will go ahead to do so on the hip line and also on the hemline. So for the hemline, I'm going to be using same measurement for the hip measurement you have, whatever you have for your hip measurement, use it for the hemline as well. Just because I didn't want this dress to be too tight, I didn't want it to be too tight. So I'm going ahead now to connect all my points together from the bust line all to the hemline. So for the sleeve, you remember the sleeve, the 10 inches that you came down by. So you are going to curve your hand stylishly to the bodice. So one thing I'm going ahead to do now is to add 1 inches for stitching allowance on all parts of my dress. Then I'll go ahead to connect it back to the sleeve. So after I was done with that, I'm going ahead to just make my hemline visible. Then we'll go ahead to cut out my dress. So go ahead now to cut out your dress like this. Make sure to follow the lines properly so you're not making a mistake. So I've cut out the front parts. Right now we'll be using the front to cut out the back. Fold another fabric into 2 and place your front part on top like this. So for this neckline, we'll come down by 1.5 inch from the top and just connect it all the way back to the front. So we are still going to maintain the width of the neckline, which is 3 inches that we did, so that there will be a balance at the neckline. So that's the only thing we are doing at the back. So we are going ahead to cut out from the same line that we used for the front. So basically you're just trimming off the back with the front pieces. The only difference is the neckline. Okay, so right now we are going to cut out the facing for the back part of our dress. So just watch what I'm doing. So just fold the fabric into two, and make sure that the folded parts are at the same angle. Make sure to place one folded part on top of another folded part, and just cut it out following the neckline, just like you're seeing me do. So go ahead to just cut it out like so. So while you're doing this, it will be easier for you to hold it down with your pins. At this point I ran out of pins, so I had to just do whatever I needed to do. So for you to easily do what you want, just use your pins to hold it down. After I was done with that, I wanted to give it a very fine shape, so I went ahead to just cut it out. I wanted this circle shape by the time I was done. So you see how I'm cutting mine. However you want it, you can leave it the way it was, but you can also cut it the way I am cutting mine. Feel free to manipulate it however you want it. So now I'm done cutting my facing. So next we are going to bring our front piece. Okay, so right now from that 9 inches that we came down by, from the end of the neckline, I'm coming in by half inch. So I'm basically just doing this to blend the neck area to the other part of the dress, just half inch. Okay, so after which we are going to place our tape from, from that neck region, from that shoulder, from the center part. I'm coming in by 2 inches, and when you get to that 9 inches I came down by, make sure to place your tape on that half inch that you came in by. Just come in by 2 inches and just connect all our dots together. Okay, so we are just going to cut out these areas that we just marked. When we open it up, this is how it's going to look. So because we've cut out the center, and this is where the ashoke is going to come in. So right now we are going to measure the length that we'll be needing for this ashoke. So I'm folding it, so just like you're seeing me do, you're going to determine the length of the ashoke, and make sure that after you measure it, make sure that you have 1 inch extra, just like the way it is at the bottom of my dress. 1 inch extra. Make sure that the ashoke is longer than the dress by 1 inch. Okay, so after I've gone ahead to determine the to know how long I'll be needing, the amount of ashoke I'll be needing, sorry, I'm going ahead to mark out the length of our neckline again. Remember what we marked was 9 inches, so I'm going ahead to mark that 9 inches that we are using for the neckline of this dress. So go ahead and do so for the other parts of the ashoke. So now I'm just going to hold it down with my pins. I'm going to just pin it down to be sure of the line that I'm going to start stitching from. So I'll go over to the sewing machine now. I will just stitch from that line that I have marked. I'm stitching it all the way down, but remember, when you're stitching, you're going to turn it over like this, just like I have done. So you're stitching it from the center. If you're not sure of the center, please go ahead to mark it with your chalk and your ruler, to mark straight down from the center all the way to the bottom. So I've gone ahead to sew it down. I made stitches from that line that I marked. So after you turn it over, remember this is the right side, so when you turn it over, you have it looking like this. So the next thing we are going to do now is to use half inch of our dress into the ashoke, the parts that are opened by the side. So we are going to pin it down all the way. So for this, we are starting from the bottom part of our dress. Please ensure that you are adding just half inch of your dress, okay, to the opening of the ashoke. So you're starting from the bottom of your dress, like I said. So even if you do not understand, just watch the video clearly and you would understand what I'm trying to do. So after pinning it down all the way to the shoulder, and you turn it over like this, it's going to look so neat. Look at the back part of the dress. It has this neat finishing. You've not even stitched it yet, but it looks so neat. That's because of the pattern I used here. So we are going to do same for the other side. Okay, so before we do that, I'll be going to the sewing machine to stitch down the facing for the back part as well. So I'll use half an inch to stitch on this part. So yeah, I've already done that offline. I've already joined our shoke, and after ironing it properly, this is how it looks. Now we just want to align this dress properly because we are about to attach our pockets to our dress. So you want to ensure that all sides of your dress is aligned properly. If you have pins, hold it down with your pins properly at this point. So yeah, so for the pockets, this is how it looks. I already went ahead to cut it offline. So right now, so the measurement for this pocket is 7 inches by 9. So for the 7 inches by the side, 7 inches by the side, and for the length, you can make it up to 9 inches, make it up to 8 inches. Use your hand to just, cut it out to the shape that it looks here. So this is how it's going to look by the time we fix our pocket. But when you want to stitch on it, you're going to turn it right sides facing each other. And for us to determine where we'll be placing our pockets on our dress, we are going to be stitching this pocket on our waist area. So from the shoulder, you're going to come down by 18 inches on both sides. And mind you, we are taking this placing these pockets on both back and front, okay? So from the shoulder, we are coming down by 18 inches for both the back and the front. So you can use your tailor's chalk to just mark that 18 inches area and do that on both sides so that you go ahead to just stitch on it. This helps you to get an accurate measurement when you want to stitch, okay? So I'll just go offline now and do all of that and show you. So yeah, I'm done attaching my pockets. This is for the front and the back here. This is how it looks. So I already went ahead to sew my facing as I said I was going to do. So right now I'm just going to make notches all around the neckline. This will enable it to sit properly by the time I iron it. So we're almost done with our dress. So right now we'll just stitch down the shoulders, the sides up to the pockets. When you get to this pocket area, you're going to curve your hand and follow the shape of the pocket like this. I'll do this offline and I will show you. So right now this is how it looks. I've gone ahead to stitch down our dress, join the back and the front together. So yeah, this is how the dress looks. So what this dress needs right now is proper ironing and it will be all set. So yeah, if you have watched this video till this point, I want to say thank you so much for watching, and if you're yet to subscribe, please do so and turn on your notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop a new video. Do not forget to like and share this video as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.